Forza Juventus FC, 207 matches played since its last Champions League title in 1996 in match 208. Since winning the 96 final, Juventus will win the 2022 Champions League final for its 208th match played since it last won the UEFA Champions League. Forza Juventus FC has the same gematria as the original site, Kratovsky Stadium. Lazio hosted the 96 final with Roma. Juventus wins again at Paris. Not just the team Paris, but we're talking about the location of the final too as well. 252nd win in Europe for Juventus would be its first knockout win. Even though we don't get Kratovsky right now, it's very revealing to see that Juventus would hit this target of 252. For its 208th match since winning the final against Ajax, the Messi prophecy follows in the summer, in the winter, in the summer if you're in the southern hemisphere. Juventus lost the 1997 final over at the city of Munich, Germany. The city of Munich, Germany, La Città di Monaco, Germania, in Italian gematria is gematria 208. 208 Champions League matches later, Juventus wins the final for its first final since it faced off against Real Madrid Club de Football. After 207 prior matches since last winning the final is when Juventus win the Champions League again. And it's no mystery that Allegri had 20 wins and 7 losses right before the first leg against Villarreal. That is all by design. My birthday, Tony's birthday, the 208th day of the year. Can that be a wonderful birthday 60 days later to win the Champions League? Some 8 weeks and 5 days later, after the Champions League final, Juventus can win the UEFA Champions League again. Some 8 weeks and 5 days later, after beating Paris Saint-Germain, after beating the Messiahs, Lionel Messi, and Paris Saint-Germain. Would that be a wonderful birthday for Mr. Tony De Lorenzi, having gematria of 266, the Messi prophecy, the Jesuit ritual, the hope factor for Messi? Do you believe in the Messiah? 26 years and 6 days later, Juventus win the UEFA Champions League after Ronaldo gave up on Juventus. 26 years and 6 days later, Juventus win the UEFA Champions League. The 266 Pope is Bergoglio. You see where the ritual is going to carry us? My birthday on the 208th day, the 208th Champions League match for Juventus since last winning the final, can win the Champions League again. And you see the meaning of Forza Juventus FC. And now the final at Paris makes this a wonderful prophetic proclamation. After 207 matches in the Champions League is when Juventus win the UEFA Champions League again. I'm going to walk you through every single occurrence that happened. So beginning in 96-97, 8-2-1 after losing to Dortmund in the Champions League final. It is Dortmund that's gematria 37. Juventus, they keep on losing the final. They lost to Dortmund for one of those 5 losses, but they do end up being 3-7 in the final. Dortmund was part of the wild ride too, not winning the UEFA Champions League. And so moving on to 97-98. Juventus 6 wins, 4 losses in total in the knockouts after losing the final. Juventus Football Club as gematria of 64. Now, Juventus lost the 97 final over at Monaco. Monaco is gematria 61. Another big reason why the Champions League final to my birthday, the 208th day, is a very significant factor. Now, Monaco having gematria 61, Juventus winning the Champions League 25 years later after 1997, after that loss over at Munich, Germany. After 66 prior Champions Leagues, Juventus win again after losing to Borussia Dortmund. So 6-4, Juventus in the knockouts in total after losing to Real Madrid. It's city of Madrid, where Real Madrid are from. That's got gematria 64. Also Juventus Football Club. It shows you what a script it is. We could even compute the Netherlands. You know, Amsterdam hosted that final. Amsterdam, Orlando, in the Netherlands. Okay, so in total in the knockouts, when Juventus lost in 1998 to Real Madrid, they had 5 wins and 3 losses in the knockouts. Now, this is significant in itself because Juventus would win the first Champions League for Italy to end its spell since Inter won the final at Madrid, Spain. Cardiff Wales also has gematria 53, and they would win the Champions League again once Chelsea was the defending Champions League holder, because Chelsea has gematria 53 in 26. And there's much more to come with that. St Petersburg, the original site of the final, is gematria 53. So the 53s have a lot of significant connections. The Juventus win the final in the year 22. Their 22nd match in the Champions League since their last title occurred in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. So 98-99, the Champions League period ended at 32 matches. 32 is the second highest degree of standard masonry. And so they don't make it in 2001. This was their 24th group match when Juventus first failed to make it past a group stage in the Champions League with 1 win, 3 draws, and 2 losses, because it's Juventus, that's gematria 132. With 24, their 24th Champions League match since their title at Rome was when Juventus first failed to make it past a qualifying group stage. Juventus, Rome, the 96 final, Russia, the original host of this year's final, gematria 24. So at 24 group matches when they first failed to make it beyond the group stage. And so moving to 2001. I should see when they lost to Manchester United. So their 31st and 32nd games they lost to Man U. This one, 2000-2001, they failed to make it beyond the group. They were at 38 matches when they failed to make it past the group stage, and that was 37 prior matches, so there's going to be some pain along the way before Juventus do go 3-7 in the final. So 37 matches before they failed to make it past the group stage. 2001, 2002. They make it past the group stage. The second group stage, they failed to make it past Leverkusen and Deportivo La Corona and Arsenal. So this was the second time that they failed to make it through the group stage. They're at 22 Champions League wins in total when they failed to make it past the group stage the second time around. They win the final again in the 22 finals. So a lot of struggles, a long journey for Juventus. 2002, 2003, here's how it gets very interesting. 6-4 in the group that year when they made it to the final at Manchester. 64 you get is the Gematria of Milano, because it's Milano that's Gematria 64. Now they went 6-4 in the group, and they ended up facing the city of Milano in the final. We're talking about AC Milan. So 6-4 in the group. And I want you to note that when they lost the final to AC Milan, their record in the final was 8-5, which meant that 8 wins, 5 losses for the campaign meant that they were not going to win again until they defeat Paris Saint-Germain in the final, because in Gematria it's Paris Saint-Germain and Messias that have Gematria of 85. So Paris Saint-Germain, Messias, Juventus, 8-5 in the Champions League. When they lost to AC Milan, they win again when they defeat PSG in this year's final. So notice how Juventus have won a total of 22 group matches since its last title, before eventually losing the final in 2003 to Milan. It's Milan that's got Gematria 22. Juventus don't win again until the 22 final. They're at 22 group wins before losing to AC Milan in the final. Their total group and knockouts for the season and their cumulative group stage and knockout records. Their cumulative knockout record in total was 8-6-5, 85. Again, because they failed to win the Champions League against AC Milan, but they do win the Champions League when the time comes against Paris Saint-Germain and the Messias. And notice how Juventus had 30 wins in the Champions League when they lost the final to AC Milan. Well, when they win the Champions League again, it means that France is not going to win until 30 years later. This meant that Juventus was not going to win the UEFA Champions League until they become the first Italian team to win since Inter Milan. They failed to win the final. They remained at 30 wins because England, the host of the finals, Gematria 30, Inter's Gematria 30. They don't win the final until after they lose to Porto, until after Porto hosts the final. And again, they don't win the final until they beat the number 30, El Messias of Barcelona. So 37 matches they failed to win in total for the group in the knockouts when they lost the 2003 final. So that's a clue that they end up going 3-7 in the final when they do win again. Now, when they lost to AC Milan in the 2003 final, it was their 67th Champions League match since their last title at Rome. They don't win the Champions League again until the 67th final in 2022, the 67th final of the Champions League. So their 67th match since their last title at Rome holds a lot of significance for when they do win the Champions League again, which occurs during the 67th Champions League in the 22 final, which was significant about their loss in '98 to Real Madrid. They don't make the final again until 2022 after they lose to Real Madrid. 67th Champions League this year. Their 67th Champions League match since their last title was a Champions League loss to AC Milan. Wow. Okay, then 2003, 2004, Sociedad in the group, Juventus Football Club, 73 matches in total throughout the whole journey. When they got done with that group in 2003, 2004, they were at 26 wins, 15 draws, and 13 losses. At 54 at that point in time. So they made it to the knockouts. Deportivo La Coruna was who they ended up losing to. So they're known as La Coruna at Deportivo, which they're not in the Liga 1. They're not in the La Liga today. Their 209th Champions League match, Juventus, would be probably, if you count the Super Cup, would be the 209th match. So that's what I got out of La Coruna. Deportivo La Coruna is the match of 85, so Juventus got knocked out by La Coruna, but they win again when they defeat the Messiahs and Paris Saint-Germain. So that's the whole significance of losing to Deportivo La Coruna in 2003, 2004, which the cumulative knockout record was 8-7, and 8-7 is a lot like the gematria of Russia having gematria of 87. The original planned host for the Champions League this year. And then in total, they stay at 75. And 2004, 2005, they lose to Liverpool. In the group, we don't count the qualifying stages, but in the group stage, they make it to the knockouts. Real Madrid, they end the season with 85 Champions League matches since their last title. So 2004, 2005, Juventus are at 85 matches. They started the round of 16 against Real Madrid. They lose in the round of 16 for 85 matches since the 96 final. So beat Real Madrid. Their 22nd loss knocked them out. So 22 losses. They don't end up winning, but they will win during the 22nd final in 2022. And then 2005, 2006. So I want to tell you guys, this was 21 matches when they lost to La Coruna. 21 knockout matches since their last title. They ended up facing the Blancos of Real Madrid next, the Whites. And then at 25 matches, they lose. They end up going out to Liverpool. And so 29 matches in the knockouts before Calciopoli for Juventus Football Club. So they're at 25 knockout matches when they got knocked out by Liverpool, because Arsenal was going to be the next team to knock out Juventus in 2006, 2007. So the fact that their 25th knockout match occurred against Liverpool was super significant, certainly for going out the next season to the following opponent. And right here, 2005, 2006, Juventus lose to Arsenal. They're at 95 Champions League matches since their last title. Then the scripted Calciopoli, let's help out Inter scandal happened, where everyone was cheating, but Inter owned the telecom companies. Calciopoli is Jumanji of 95. It is Juventus in its 95th Champions League match. Got knocked out by Arsenal, then they were stripped of the league. They were banned from the Champions League. Their 25th loss in the Champions League knockout stage since winning the final occurred against Arsenal. So you see it from that other angle. Then notice right here that their 26th knockout match since their last title occurred against Arsene Wenger. And then we have 2008, 2009 when they get knocked out of the group. Just show you the evolutionary journey out of all this. They lose out in the group. They actually lose out in the round of 16. They lose out to Chelsea for their 26th knockout loss occurring against Chelsea, because it's Chelsea that's got Jumanji 26. So they lose to Chelsea, but they win the Champions League 26 years later with Chelsea as the defending Champions League holders. This was their 103rd match in the knockouts since their last title, Juventus, which is significant right now because Juventus in European football, in international football, Juventus, its overall record, 103 losses, entering the knockouts. Their 103rd match since their last title occurred against Chelsea for their 26th loss against Chelsea. Their 25th loss to Arsenal, their 26th loss to Chelsea. It was completely scripted by the numbers, there's no doubt about it. Let's see, total knockout matches, that's... Okay, 31 to Chelsea. And then 2009, 2010, they get knocked out of the group. Okay. Now, we move on to 2012, 2013. They defeat Celtic. Their first knockout win since 2006. Calciopoli, 2006, their last knockout win before they got banned in the Champions League. They win the Champions League 26 years later. They defeat Celtic for their, after 44 wins in the group, is when they win their next knockout for the first time since 2006 in the year 2013. So they defeated Celtic for their first knockout win since their 25th knockout loss to Arsenal. We're talking about Juventus here, with their last knockout victory occurring against Real Madrid in 2005-2006. So I want you to notice something too. Real Madrid Club de Football has Jumanji of 91. So 6 group matches, they entered the Real Madrid tie with 91 matches played. And you can analyze it from this angle too when you just add the two. You add the 6 group matches on top of the nth match played. So from that angle, you start to make a lot of sense of who Juventus has played and all that, etc. And continuing on. Celtic and then Bayern Munich in 2012, 2013. How many group matches when they won the Champions League again? No, when they won a knockout tie again? 84. And let's see, Calciopoli. This was the group. They're at 66 group matches when they got banned because of Calciopoli, and it's the black and whites. And Inter, who are the beneficiaries of Calciopoli because they owned all the telecom companies, but they were also bribing officials too. So that's what was happening in that situation. So 2004, 2005 was the year. 2005, 2006, Juventus actually faced off against Werder Bremen. So just a key note there. 2004, 2005. Let me type in Werder Bremen too. Werder is also Gematria 37. So 3 and 7. Werder Bremen, it's Gematria of the 67th Champions League. This is why they faced off against Bremen at that point in time for Juventus. So, very interesting to see how these numbers are compiled. So it was actually 91 before facing off against Werder Bremen. So, continuing on, the 2014, 2015, Juventus in the group stage, 48 wins, 28 draws, and 20 losses. Juventus played a total of 96 group matches since it last won the Champions League in the 96 final, when it made it to its first final since 2003 against Milan. They had 64 wins at the time of the final against Messi and Barcelona. They failed to get win 65 against Messi, Juventus. They remained at 64 in the final because Allegri's Gematria 64, because it's Juventus Football Club. It's Buffon that has Gematria 64. Buffon doesn't have the good luck because the 35th knockout loss for Juventus occurred in the 2015 final against Barcelona. It's Barcelona that's Gematria 35. So their 35th Champions League loss ever since its last title occurred in the final against Barcelona. And I want you to notice something too. So that's 57 wins from the prior year. 57. 3 wins in the group stage. They entered the knockouts with 60 wins since its last Champions League title before the 2015 knockouts, because they made it to the final at Berlin, because Agnelli is Gematria 60, because they were going to make it to the final and they were going to make it again at Wales, and they were not going to actually win the final until they win over at Paris, because Parigi is Gematria of 60 and 42. Paris and PSG have Gematria 42. In the cumulative knockout record, their 42nd knockout match was when they lost the final, meaning that Messi was not going to win again until he faces off against PSG. He's not going to win the title until he's a member of PSG. And Juventus won't win the final until they're over at the city of Paris, Parigi having Gematria 42. So their 42nd knockout loss, their 15th loss in the Champions League final to Barcelona, their 15th loss in the knockout loss in the final It's Wales that's got gematria 15. So their next loss in the Champions League in the final was at Wales after loss number 15. And now the 15-16 knockouts, Juventus had 67 wins to end the campaign with 37 losses. Again, are going to be 3-7 in the final when they do win the Champions League. They remain at 67 wins after getting knocked out by Bayern. They don't win the Champions League again until the 67th edition of the UEFA Champions League. That was their 44th knockout match against Bayern because it's champions that's got gematria 44. Not at this time, but in the 67th edition of the UEFA Champions League. And now their 29th knockout loss was in 2006, was over to the team from London, Arsenal. You see that? Okay, moving on. Moving on to 2018-2019. They won 62 knockout matches, group matches before facing off against Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid is gematria 62. For Juventus, so they had 81 wins. They entered the knockouts with 85 because of their 4 group wins. So at 85 wins since its last title before facing off against Atletico. With a former Real Madrid player, Cristiano Ronaldo, by the way. That's certainly true when you apply the gematria of Real Madrid, having gematria of 85. In the 86th win in the Champions League since its last title for Juventus occurred in comeback fashion against Atletico Madrid. The comeback and greatest of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. He certainly showed why he's fit for the conversation at that moment in time. '24 Champions League wins in the knockouts when Juventus got knocked out. Again, Rome, Juventus, Russia, when they do win it, they failed to defeat Ajax. And right here, 2019-2020, Juventus had 67 group matches before the knockouts. The 67 group match wins and 24 losses. The gematria of Russia and Rome. Their 21st loss in the knockouts, Juventus, occurred against Lyon. Because it's Lyon that's got gematria 21. Their 21st knockout loss in the UEFA Champions League in the knockouts occurred against Lyonnais. The 45 Champions League losses since its last title with Cristiano Ronaldo, gematria 45. For a total of 95 matches, it failed to win. They remain at 92 wins since its last UEFA Champions League title, Juventus. France won during the 92-93 Champions League. This 92 here, they were not going to win until they got rid of Ronaldo. Until they got Vlahovic. Gematria 92 days from the day that Paris was announced as the host to the Champions League final. Remain at 92 wins because St Petersburg was originally scheduled to host the game. That was 51 knockout matches when they fired the banker Mauricio Sarri. And 51 Champions League knockout matches since they last won at Rome in the knockouts. Or actually right there, 25 and 15 and 21. That's actually 61 matches for Juventus since it last won the UEFA Champions League, the 61. And then 63 knockout matches for Juventus at 26 wins in the knockouts with Chelsea as the defending champions. At 63 total knockout matches in total before the knockouts of this year. Kartovsky Stadium, Paris, Gematria 63, Lazio, one of the hosts for the Champions League, and once again, Forza Juventus FC. The first leg against Villarreal, that was their 202nd game. 6 matches, 2 three-legged ties. They're going to enter the Champions League final with 207 matches played. And then Forza Juventus FC, and then match 208. They're going to win the UEFA Champions League again, the Bianconeri. Entered this season with 98 wins in the Champions League knockouts. Champions has got Gematria of 98. The Champions League, they become the champions again. And they could face off against the Red Devils this year at 98 wins entering this year. Yeah, they could. They definitely could. 195 matches, a lot like 1995. Then 196, a lot like 1996. So the Juventus' first match since Calciopoli was their 96th match in the UEFA Champions League. And so when did that happen? That happened in 2008, 2009. Their 96th match in the Champions League since winning the 96th final. Now, who was that against? Their 96th match since winning the Champions League occurred against Zenit St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg hosted the final this year. Juventus defeated Zenit 7 months and 9 days before the original scheduled final, including the end day, because it's champion, and of course it got moved from St. Petersburg because Ukraine has got Gematria 79. And so the win sequence, the win-loss sequence, when you follow it up with the group stage, so 60 in Berlin, for example. How about 2016, 2017? Juventus' 38th knockout loss occurred. Its 38th Champions League loss occurred for its first loss in the final since over at Germany. And Juventus' 38th Champions League loss since its last title occurred over at Cardiff. It's Cardiff that has Gematria 38. That's why their 38th Champions League loss since its last title occurred over at Cardiff, to lose the final, entering the final with 37 losses because they're not supposed to win it again until they're 3-7 in the final. They're now 2-7, and then they can win the final at 3-7. Fascinating stuff when you look at it. All of it. In 2015-2016, they 79 matches they failed to win or draw in total. FC Bayern Monaco is Gematria 63 too. Monaco, an Italian Gematria. So yeah, this game against Zenit St Petersburg, that's a very deep connection to make with this season. Super deep. 207 prior matches before Juventus win the Champions League. When we break it all down right now, when we break down and see exactly where they get to this point, their 104th win in the knockouts can happen before they potentially face off against the Devils of Manchester United in the quarterfinals. Then 105, who is it against? That's a good question. It's also Manchester City Football Club that's got Gematria of 104. So Man City, who knows? But I like a win each round for Juventus. They can enter the final with 106 wins since its last title, because they did lose a final at Manchester. Manchester's Gematria of 106, and it's the Crown that's got Gematria of 106. Very deep connections to make with that. And then the 107th Champions League win since its last title to win the championship, to become the champions. Ever since Inter won at Madrid, Spain, Madrid, Spagna, Cardiff, Wales, Championship, Campeonato, Scudetto, the Messiah, Lionel Messi. What else? Captain Giorgio Chiellini. Giorgio Chiellini. He's got Gematria of 107. Paulo Bruno Ezekiel Dybala. It's got Gematria of 107 as well. So that's a very deep number for Juventus when breaking down winning the UEFA Champions League. I mean, it's totally will happen at this point. Buffon's number 77. 77 wins in the group stage. 132 group matches before this season, Juventus Football Club. Juventus and Lionel Messi until the end, 132 Champions League group matches. Its 73rd Champions League group win occurred in the year they win the Champions League. Crown is Gematria 73. Internazionale was the last Italian team to win the Champions League, Gematria of 73. 26 losses in the group stage before uh, ending a 26-year Champions League drought, entering the season with 26 Champions League wins in the knockouts. Win number 27, then win number 28 against United. And maybe win number 29 against Bayern. Bayern Munich potentially. And win number 30 in the knockouts to win the Corona, the crown, since Inter won with Porto hosting last year's final, defeating Bologna the last match of the season. Verona got the draw against Napoli. And then El Messias, Lionel Messi, to remain at 22 losses for Juventus when it fails to lose to the Messias. $64 Champions League group matches right now. It's 63 knockout matches. They could enter with 65 before Bayern potentially, or even Pep Guardiola. I think it's Joseph, his first name. That's got Gematria 65. Or Dybala. Dybala is playing this time. Paulo. It's got Gematria 65. '67 Champions League knockout matches. 66 and 67 in the quarterfinals. What about 68 and 69? 68 against Munich? Against Bayern? '68 matches before they were supposed to make it to St. Petersburg, having Gematria 68. 69 knockout matches entering the final. Borussia Dortmund, who it lost to in 1997, Gematria 69. Stadio Olimpico was where Juventus last won the final. They win in their 70th knockout match to become the champions once again. I Campioni, St. Petersburg, Gematria. So, Man United, Bayern Munich, and then, I would probably have to go with, that's my projection for the rest of the UEFA Champions League. It's FC Bayern Munich. That's got Gematria 70. They lost to Bayern twice. They can win their 70th match since they won the Champions League. Amsterdam having Gematria 94 and 31. It's fascinating stuff. So 69 matches entering the final. That'd be 64 matches in two-legged affairs because they lost 5 previous finals. So 64 and 5 gives you the 69. '64 two-legged ties for Juventus FC because Juventus Football Club is Gematria 64.